Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today. We will wait for a few minutes for others to join, and we will start the session. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at our session. This webinar is part of our Cybersecurity Awareness Month, a month dedicated to raise awareness about simple but critical practices that strengthen our security posture. My name is Alwa Raka. I'm a cybersecurity engineer here at Watad Digital company. Today we will take the initiatives to discuss two important topics to raise awareness regarding them. I will start by discussing default configurations, how are they risky to our environment, why do they still exist, and what are the solutions that can eliminate the vulnerabilities that come with it. Also introducing a solution, phosphorus.
Um, okay, go ahead. Hi, people. Hi, everyone. It's pretty nice being here today with you guys. My name is Ulisses Oliva, and I'm a pre-sales cybersecurity engineer here with Watad Digital. And that's our agenda for today, okay? And we are here to talk about security awareness, of course, and we are going to talk today, as you can see, we are going to talk about the threat landscape that we have today, and most importantly, about the identity-driven breaches that you may have on your company, on your systems, okay? And we are focusing on here today about the why privileged access matters to you. Okay, FortiPAM solution is the solution that we are going to talk today. Essentials and key capabilities, the architecture and deployment patterns, use cases, compliance, and time to value. Okay, and at the end we are going to have a Q&A moment, a Q&A that we're going to have that you can share your thoughts, make some questions, and we can talk a little bit more about the solution. Okay, feel free to make questions, and that's it.
Here at Watad Digital, we were founded in 2013 in Saudi Arabia. Watad Digital, we are a technology company, digital transformation, provides solution in IT, OT, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, smart cities for various sectors like oil and gas, manufacturers, hospitals, businesses, governments. Our mission is to develop, build, integrate, and deploy the most the most cutting edge cybersecurity solutions for the critical infrastructure. Our vision is to become leaders and value added solution providers with a strong commitment to quality. So let's start our webinar today with the first topic, default configuration, the silent backdoor in IT and OT. We will talk about how something that seem trivial, like leaving default username and passwords unchanged, can open security gaps and increase attack surface. So, as our environments become more and more connected, this topic affects everyone, whether you're managing IT or industrial control networks. We are now living through the fourth industrial revolution. This revolution has blurred the lines between the digital and physical environments, IT and OT. Factories, hospitals, oil and gas plants are now running interconnected systems. For example, a temperature sensor on a factory floor can talk to a database on the cloud, or a PLC can be managed remotely from an office. This interconnectivity has improves efficiency and automation, but also it means that vulnerability in one system can spread quickly into the other. So our focus today is on this hidden risk that comes with all this interconnectivity. Specifically, the default configurations that have become an entry point for many attackers. Okay, let's start with the basics. What are default configurations? When a manufacturer ship devices, they usually come with pre-configured factory sets, usernames, and passwords like admin, root 1234. So these credentials are meant for setup and easy installation, right? You will find these defaults everywhere on routers, on IP cameras, PLC, IoT sensors. So the problem here is once these devices go into production, many organizations tend to forget to change these defaults. So attackers know this, and everyone knows this. These lists are the list of these credentials are published online over the internet. They are published by the vendor themselves to help installation. And also, there is a search engine like Shodan. You can search for these IoT devices. There's thousands of these devices publicly exposed on the internet, still using these default credentials. So something that was created for convenience has now become one of the biggest attack surface. So as we established earlier, default configurations are essentially open doors for attackers. Nowadays, attackers realize that they don't need advanced skills or sophisticated tools to get into your environment. They can basically just try few well-known credentials and carry on with their attack. So one of the most famous examples of this is the Mirai botnet. The Mirai botnet malware actually started small, where um, college students wanted to take down servers for a game called Minecraft, and they actually succeeded on doing that. They launched a DDoS attack over these servers. After that, they published the code of this malware online for everyone to use, and basically, this Mirai botnet exploited default IoT devices' credentials to launch massive DDoS attacks. So it starts by scanning the network for any IoT connected device that has this vulnerability that still use default credentials. Once it finds one, Mirai would log into that device and install the malware, and this device would become a bot. After that, each infected device would then search for more vulnerable devices and creating a self-replicating wave of this. So after a while, after gathering many and many devices, they create what's called a botnet, and now they are ready to launch DDoS attacks that can take down servers. So Mirai grew rapidly, infecting thousands of IoT devices worldwide. Once it reached critical mass, it can launch coordinated DDoS attacks. Okay, so you might ask yourself now, we know the risk is known of these default configurations, so why do they still exist? Why do they still persist on our critical environments, right? So there are several key reasons I will discuss now. First, these legacy OT devices, many of them may be deployed on production decades ago. They still rely on static or hard-coded credentials. They can't be easily changed. The second reason is usually in OT environments, there is this strong fear that of disrupting the operation itself after the device is on production, it's difficult to change its configuration. Third, and most importantly, is many organizations lack visibility to these devices. Many organizations might have thousands of devices, but they lack the visibility to all these devices, their vendors, their type, and all. Okay, this is where phosphorus come. Phosphorus is an agentless extended IoT security management platform, meaning it doesn't require installing a software or agent on these devices. Therefore, it doesn't increase the overhead on these devices, right? So, Phosphorus proactively discover and secure connected devices. The platform identify devices with default credentials, with common and exploited vulnerabilities, outdated firmware, open unused ports, and expired certificates, all in a unified platform. Let's see how Phosphorus now works. Phosphorus works on in key several stages. So it first perform what is called intelligent active discovery. Here, Phosphorus doesn't scan the network like traditional scans. It doesn't use a tap or span mirror ports. It communicates with these devices using their native protocols in a safe, non-invasive way, so it doesn't disrupt their operation. By scanning these devices, it can detect their vendor, model, firmware version, their current configurations from their database. It then checks these devices if they have default credentials, if their firmware is outdated, if their certificate is expired. So once they have these analyses all complete, Phosphorus will build an inventory of each device with their type, with their detailed information, and also the risk level. This risk level will give you the option to remediate these devices. So Phosphorus can also give you remediation actionable steps to rotate passwords, to update these firmwares at scale, to also update certificates, manage and eliminate these vulnerabilities. So it gives you that option. Okay, so Phosphorus goes beyond just discovering these devices. Phosphorus actually gives you and provide you with remediation steps that you can take to continuously reduce these vulnerabilities. It can fix the weak configurations, rotate credentials, update firmware without any human intervention. So Phosphorus can help you maintain compliance by keeping all your connected devices in a unified platform. Okay, let's look at a use case to help us understand this situation more better. Okay, here the challenge is imagine an organization with thousands of connected IoT and OT devices. Most of these devices, let's say, were installed decades ago with different vendors, and maybe some of them still use default credentials. Here, security teams knows there is a risk, but they lack visibility to these devices. Uh, they can't update or reboot these devices that might disrupt the operation. They like any unified inventory of each device, the risk of remediating uh, these weak vulnerabilities. So the solution here, the organization deployed Phosphorus in their environment. Here, Phosphorus will begin by scanning the network in a safe mode, read-only mode, discovering every connected device and identifying its type, model, and firmware. Phosphorus will quickly identify which device is using default credentials, is still on outdated firmware, their certificate is expired, Then it can give you an actionable remediation steps that you can carry on these devices based on their risk score. All activities are logged and approved for auditing. After deployment, the benefits of deploying phosphorus in the environment is that the organization has eliminated thousands of default credentials across IT and OT environment. By that, they reduced the attack surface, and they did it with any without any downtime on the operation. By having a unified platform that have a detailed inventory of the devices and the risk scores of each device with remediation steps, they achieve compliance with standards like global standards IEC 62443 and local standards NCA OTCC. Okay, to wrap up everything in our discussion now, default configurations might seem harmless, but they are one of the common and dangerous entry points in modern networks. As IT and OT systems continue to merge and interconnect more, we must treat both with equal level of security hygiene. So changing default credentials, updating firmware, maintaining visibility are simple, but they are powerful steps towards stronger defense. Solutions like Phosphorus make this achievable at scale. Uh, they have inventory, they are safe, they are compliant. So, as we continue Cybersecurity Awareness Month, now my colleague Ulysses will discuss the other part of our discussion. Thank you.
Hey, hello guys. I'm going to present myself a little bit here. My name is Ulysses Oliva. I'm a pre-sales cybersecurity engineer here with Watad Digital. Okay, yeah, now we are going to talk a little bit about the FortiPAM solutions. This is a PAN solutions from Fortinet. Okay, so the main topic that we can see here about the SecOps teams that you may have on your company is that today we are using a lot of kind of solutions to track our system, to tracking our IT devices, and these systems, these devices, the solutions is bringing to us a lot of alerts saying that something is wrong, but it's a lot alerts, and we have a shortage in skilled people to handle all these alerts that we have today. And of course, the threat landscape is pretty big today. We have a loads and loads of kinds of threats that may attack us today, that can harm us today, and our attack surface that we have today, that somehow you be using the cloud for something, email, everyone's using mail today, of course, the IT and slash OT systems that we have, as my colleague was talking about OT and IoT systems, IoT devices, and users, of course. We must have people on your company working for us, but the main point that I want you to see here is about the APT threats that you can have on your company. What is an APT threat? Is those threats that the threat actors is just they get inside your company and they stay for a long time watching you, seeing what you do on your company, how you run your business, where you save your data. They is just studying you, watching you. So after that, the damage that they can do to your company is pretty big, because they it's just studying you, getting information about secrets of your company, you name it. But that's the main point that I want to show you when we are talking about the threat landscape and the threats that you may face on your business. Okay, so Here I brought to you some researches and some news headlines that's telling us about the losses that you can have when you have a cyber attack. But the main point here that I want to show to you is this report from the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency from United States. That what they say to us is that the root cause for the most successful attacks. Pay attention to this. The most successful attacks are related to credentials, that the leak of credentials or weak credentials, and as my colleague said before, the false credentials that you leave on your OT/ICS device. So the the attacks is related to credentials. The successful attacks, that attacks that cause the most losses to your company, that make you lose more money, is those attacks related to credentials that you are not paying attention to. Okay. Um, and as I said before about the APT attacks, those attacks that people stay on company for a long time, it's pretty important here because the attackers is not just trying to into a company, but they are logging into a company. And if they are logging into a company, they are using legitimate credentials. Can you see here the difference that we have? The big difference that we have is that most of the time, when the threat actor is logging into a company with legitimate credentials, most of the time you are not getting an alert telling you that you have a problem. When someone is trying to break into a company, most of the time, if you are using some kind of solutions, protection solutions, email gateway, a CM solution, or a firewall, maybe these devices are going to tell you right away that you have a problem, that someone is trying to break into a company. But when someone that's a service provider to you, that's a supply chain man that works to you, that is make some kind of maintenance to your systems, OT/ICS systems, they are using legitimate credentials, but it's not him, it's an attacker on your systems, okay? And we can see here that another problem that we have, mostly in the OT word, is that isolated identity systems, like your company save some people in your company save passwords on notes. People saving password, username and passwords on Excel spreadsheets. And what happened when just this machine gets compromised? You can see the problem because they start to get access to all your systems. They start to get access to all your company just because they hacked just one machine on your company. Okay. And we can talk about the insufficient resources because some companies are not paying attention to this. Okay. um, So the cost of compromised credentials, okay, we have here three numbers, but the main number that I want to address to you is the number 292 days to identify that you have a problem. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the damage that someone can make to your company when they stay there for 292 days watching you, seeing what you do? It's completely different from an attack from outside that someone is trying to break into your company. That's the main point here, okay? And how can we solve these problems? Okay, how can we solve these problems? Fortinet has this identity and asset management suite that we have a lot of solutions to help us to protect our systems, our SaaS applications, our cloud, our data center. And we have for token, for MFA, we have for token cloud, for authenticator. That is a solution that we can gather your LDAP and all the systems that you have to authenticate the people from your company and outside your company, people that provide service to you from outside, okay? And Of course, the FortiPAM solution is the main solution that we are talking here about. Okay. So, but first of all, we may be asking you what is a privileged access? Né? What's a privileged user? A privileged user is not everybody on your company, okay? It's mostly the IT manager, the system administrators. It's those people that usually you access your servers, your systems, your devices, your firewall, you name it, okay? But it's just these people that is the privileged users. So you don't have to think about that. We are talking to the whole crew that you have your own company. Okay. Let's see. So, what's the key functions of FortiPAN? Okay, how FortiPAN? What's the key function that we have? They manage credentials. They manage account credentials from your privileged users. Okay, you can manage the credentials. You can work as a vault for the passwords that you have to your systems. You can rotate the passwords. Okay, and of course, we can control the privileges. Okay, because we don't need to give access to all the users, all privileged users to all systems that you have. So you have this kind of control, and we have an hierarchical approach approval systems like someone just access your file, for example, if someone allow them to do that in a specific moment. Okay, they can schedule a maintenance agenda, a maintenance window, and so after that, they can make the changes that they want. Okay. Yeah, of course, the most important part of the PAN solution is that you can monitor the privileged activities. Like we are going to record these actions, we are going to record the screen of this guy that is accessing your systems. We are logging in all information that he is doing to your systems, and the keystrokes to the keyboard, monitoring the mouse movement of the mouse on the screen. We are recording everything that he's doing to your devices. Okay. What is the building blocks for Japan? For those that know Fortinet solutions, it's based on FortiOS, which is great because if you know Fortinet and are used to this, it's pretty simple. So you'll be fine using FortiPAN. It's a simple solution. Uh, the security fabric, of course. A security fabric is a concept that we can talk later, but security fabric is the idea that when you have a security solution, this solution don't have to work alone. This solution that have to share intel, to talk to other solutions, so you can automate the actions that you have in your system. And that's the core of Fortinet solutions, because the main goal to Fortinet is to that if I have a solution, a secure solution, my solution is going to talk to all solutions that I have, all solutions that I use, because we can work together to protect and reduce the number of alerts that you may have on your company. Okay, and the ZTNA. The ZTNA process that we can have using FortiPAN as well, because when you use FortiPAN with some kind of the for client endpoint protection, we can use the ZTNA process. Okay. So how FortiPAN is deployed, okay? It's simple to deploy FortiPAN. It's a simple solution, but powerful solution that we can. Most of the time, FortiPAN works exactly as a proxy to all the systems that you have. So before someone gets to your systems, they have to pass through FortiPAN. So we can record them, we can monitor them, we can watch them, what they are doing. Basically, it's simple as you can see in this image, okay? If someone is trying to access your file, if someone is trying to access your servers, they are passing through, and just if it's allowed from FortiPAN to give them these access, okay? We you can use external authentication like an LDAP server, and we can use MFA from Microsoft or use the first token. Okay, it's pretty nice solution. Yes, as I said, Microsoft Entra you can use, of course. And when combined with FortiCAI IMS, we can use the ZTNA. And what is the ZTNA? ZTNA is a solution that we just don't give access and monitor the access to your systems, to your device. We first of all we check if the laptop, if the Windows machine is okay, if it's up to date, if have every software, a software that you want to have on the system. We verify the identity of the user, and of course, the communication is encrypted. Okay, totally protected. And what is the benefits that we have from FortiPAN? Okay, and it's a unique security because we can you can use of course, when you have Forti client, is just one software that you may have to install on your machine. Okay, install just one software, and of course, I forget to tell you that FortiPan it has a DLP solution that is monitoring the files that the user is trying to retrieve or to send to your devices. Okay, has antivirus as well, and I can say to you that easy solution to use, easy to implement as well. We have appliances and VMs to implement this, and the value is not an expensive solution. It's cheap solution, and you can see the value straight away. Okay. And what's new? We have new in these solutions? Support agentless. I myself I like this a lot, too much. Okay, because you don't basically you don't have to install something on your machine to use FortiPan. Okay, you can use this agentless. Basically, you have your browser, normal browser, and we install the a browser extension, and we are good to go. Okay, pretty simple to use. Uh, yes. Now you have a simple demo how FortiPan works. Okay, you guys trying to launch, but they don't have Fort clients, but you can use web RDP. Okay, and you have access. It's simple as that. Okay, and of course this screen is recorded. Okay, it's being recorded, which is pretty important to see after that what someone is doing to your server. Multi-language today. Unfortunately, not Arabic yet, but we are from IT, and most of the time you are using our solutions in English, what's fine. Okay. And of course, if you have a lot of sites, a lot of branches to your company, it's not a problem. You can implement FortiPan. And if you have a branch in Jeddah, if you have a branch in Alhoba, you can install on your virtualization system and you are good to go. It's not a problem. Okay, you just put the gateways to your branches, the gateway, the FortiPan gateway to your sites, and it's simple to implement. And the key points that we can gather here from about FortiPan is that it's integrated, okay, with the Fortinet solutions, and it's fast to value. As I said to you, that it's simple to implement. So if it's simple, you can see that the value straightforward that you are getting to your company, okay? And there is no need to rip and replace if you are concerned about this, because you don't need to change your environment. You don't need to rip some solution that you use today to use FortiPAM. You can still use the solutions that you have today and still use FortiPAM in front of it to protect this, to control the access to your systems, okay? You don't have to remove anything that you use today. And of course, are going to be in compliance with the National Cybersecurity Authority of your country, okay? And that's the moment, the Q&A moment. If you have some questions and or just want to share thoughts and just talk to us, feel free to make questions, feel free to talk to us, hit us on LinkedIn and make questions.
Thank you everyone for joining us today in our webinar session to raise awareness in cybersecurity. If you have any questions for us, unmute or write them in the chat.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for attending our session for today. I hope it was an informative session and you have gained awareness. Thank you all.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice day, everyone.